Okay, so one of the things that you must know how to do in algebra is solve quadratic equations by a process called completing the square. And this is a pretty difficult process for a lot of people or procedures. And that's why I'm saying that a lot of you will get this problem wrong. Not because you can't learn this, but you just don't get enough practice or you never really learned the steps to complete the square. But let's take a look at this quadratic equation. What we have here is 2x squared plus 5x minus 1 is equal to 0. Now, if you know a thing or two about solving quadratic equations, you can certainly solve this equation by using the quadratic formula. So if you know how to do that, that's awesome. But you also need to know how to solve this equation by completing the square. So what I'm going to do in just 1 second is break down the process, the exact steps in order to solve a quadratic equation by completing the square. But before we get started, let me quickly introduce myself. My name is John, and I have been teaching middle and high school math for decades. And if you need help learning math, check out my math help program at tcmathacademy.com. You can find a link to that in the description below. And if this video helps you out, or if you just enjoy this content, make sure to like and subscribe, as that definitely helps me out. Now, here again is our problem. We have 2x squared plus 5x minus 1 is equal to 0. And let's see if you can actually solve this by completing the square. And if you think you can, we'll put your answer into the comment section. But if you're not quite sure, well, let's go ahead and get to this problem right now. And I'm going to, of course, show you the exact steps. You may want to take notes. So probably if you really need to learn this, like maybe for a test or quiz coming up, you may want to pause the video as go through it so you can take detailed notes. But let's go ahead and get into how to complete the square right now. So here is our equation. The first step when you are looking to complete the square is you need to have your constant or your number value on the right hand side. So here we have this in standard form, so I'm going to move this 1 on the other side. So specifically got all your variables over here and your number over there. So this is how we start off, okay? Now, the next thing you need to do is you need to get a 1 in front of your x squared or y squared, or the case, whatever variable it is. So we need to get a 1 in front of it. You can see here we have a 2. Okay, so how can we get a 1 in this position? Well, all we need to do is divide everything by 2, and that leading coefficient becomes 1. All right, so again, we have to move that constant over to the right-hand side and then get this leading coefficient to 1. So the way we're going to do that is divide this by 2, but we have to divide everything else by 2. Okay, so when we do this, we have the following equation. So x squared plus 5 halves x is equal to 1 half. And again, hopefully you understand the steps why, why it was necessary to take those couple steps to get down from our starting equation to get to this right here. Now, sometimes your equation that you're dealing with, you don't have to take those extra steps that I just did. Sometimes you're already kind of set up for success. But if your quadratic equation is not in a proper format, you cannot even start the completing the square technique. Okay, so this is our starting point. We're ready to go. Let's go ahead and get started now. All right, so what do we need to do? Well, the first thing we need to do is to go to this middle term, this middle coefficient. So not the x squared, the coefficient in front of the x. So in this case, it's 5 halves, and you take this, and by the way, this procedure you would apply to any and all quadratic equations that you're trying to use, the completing the square technique to solve. Okay, so you're going to take that middle coefficient here, and you're going to divide it by 2. Now, when you're dividing something by 2, it's the same thing as multiplying by 1 half. So I'll take 5 halves and multiply by 1 half, which again is dividing by 2, and you get the lovely fraction 5 over 4. Okay, so again, I'm assuming those of you out there are, pretty familiar with just solving regular quadratic equations and just, basic algebra at this point to include fractions. But any of this stuff that you don't understand, just make a little, list of things like I don't get this, I don't get that, I don't get this, and then follow on and improve what you need to improve. Okay, so now that we've done that, we've taken this middle coefficient right there and we divided it by 2. In this case, we multiply by 1/2, same thing. We're going to take that answer, and our answer again was 5/4, and we're going to square it. Okay, we're going to square the answer. So 5/4 square is just 5/4 square. So I'll just leave it like this for the time being. Of course, that's equal to 25/16, but we'll get to that in a second. All right, so now that we did all of that, what do we do with this result right here, right? So we divided the middle term by 2, and then we took that answer and squared it. So now what we're going to do is add that result to both sides of the equation. We're going to add 5/4 squared to both sides of the equation. All right, so that's what it's going to look like right here. So we have x squared plus 5/2 x plus 5/4 squared. And again, remember on this side of the equation, we had 1/2, but we're adding 5/4 squared to both sides. Remember in algebra, whatever you do to one side of the equation, as long as you do the same thing equally to the other side, you are in good shape. Okay, so hopefully you're still with me, like, okay, I get where you're going. So now at this point, let's go ahead and start clearing up, simplifying some of these expressions here. So on this left-hand side, we have x squared plus 5/2 x, and we'll go ahead and actually square 5/4 square. So that gives us 25/16. And then on this side here, we'll go ahead and write our 5/4 squared as 25/16. Okay, so let's go ahead and add these fractions right here. So that's 1/2 plus 25/16. So pretty easy here. I can just multiply this fraction by 8. So we have a common denominator 16. So that's going to give me 8/16 plus 25/16, which of course is 33/16. Now, I'm hoping all of you are experts in fractions. Now, if you're taking an algebra course and you're still shaky on fractions, I would call that a math emergency. I have a ton of videos on fractions on my YouTube channel and in my Pre-Algebra and Math Foundations course if you need additional help. Okay, so if you're with me so far, you're like, okay, I'm with you, Mr. YouTube Math Man. Let's continue on. Very, very good. All right, so remember, we have this side, we just added these two fractions, that's 33/16. So let's go ahead and see the result. All right, so we have x squared plus 5/2 x plus 25/16 is equal to 33/16. So we are in pretty good shape. I would say we're probably about halfway through the problem. All right, so what do we do now? Well, what we do at this stage, okay, once you've taken half of this middle coefficient, divided it by 2, squared it, and then added that to both sides, and then cleaned up um, the results of doing that. At this point, what you've created is a perfect square. Now, if you kind of, look at the title of this video, Completing the Square, well, what does that mean? Well, we're trying to construct a perfect square, all right? A perfect square would be something like x plus 1 squared is equal to 9, okay? This is right here, a perfect square. So what we want to do at this point, okay, is factor this quadratic trinomial, but we already know it's going to be a perfect square. So how do we write this or factor this as a perfect square? Well, all we need to do is take the square root of this and the square root of this. And what's the square root of 25/16? Well, it's just that 5/4, right? Because we took that 5/4 and squared it. And then what's the square root of x squared? It's x. So it's always going to be the same thing. So this x squared, we're going to write as x, and this 25/16, we're going to write as 5/4. But all this is going to be in a parentheses squared. Okay. Now, if you multiplied this right here, if you're like, well, let me see if I, believe you, Mr. YouTube Math Man. Take your x plus 5/4 and square it. X plus 5/4, right? So that's what it means to square it. If you multiply these two together, you would get back to this right here, okay? X squared plus 5/2 plus 25/16. Again, we're going to factor it. So instead of you trying to like figure out the factors of this, just know it's going to be the square root of this and the square root of this. And anyway, so this is the whole idea doing the completing the square. We're constructing a perfect square, and then of course we're going to factor it. All right, so if you're with me so far, then we are getting close to the final answer. Okay, so we have x plus 5 fourths. All this squared is equal to 33 over 16. So what can I do? Well, now I can take the square root of both sides. Okay, now I can take the square root of both sides, just like this. And what's the square root of x plus 5 fourths squared? It's simply going to be x plus 5 fourths. Okay, so anytime you take the square root of something squared, it's just what remains, what you're squaring is going to be the answer. And then on this side, when we take the square root of 33 over 16, we're going to end up with positive and negative square root of 33 over 16. Now, anytime you are dealing with solving quadratic equations or equations in general, you want to be thinking about both the positive and negative roots of a square root. Just real quick here, so if I said, what is the square root of 4? And if you said the answer is 2, you would be correct, okay? Because effectively, what we're talking about here is what we call the principal square root, and that's just the positive version of the answer. Now, if I said, solve the equation x squared is equal to 4, I would want to take the square root of both sides. In this case, x is going to be equal to both positive and negative 2. Okay, so again, the square root of 4 is 2. I don't know if I said 4. If I did, I digress. Let me just I'm speaking so much, there's so much information here, but let me just review again, right? If I just asked you, hey, the square root of 4 is equal to what? And you just said positive 2, you would be correct, because this is the principal square root. If I said solve the equation x squared is equal to 4, you would take the square root of both sides. Here, in this case, because we're trying to solve an equation, we're going to have both positive and negative, right? Because negative 2 times negative 2 is a positive 4. Okay, so you got to put in that positive and negative. It's not like a little optional thing. So right here, this is how we get our two roots, our two solutions to this quadratic equation. All right, so let's go ahead and continue on, and we got to clean this up right here. But what do we need to do? Well, let's go ahead and address this right here first before we do anything else. So the square root of 33 over 16 is going to be equal to what? Well, I have one big square root of 33 over 16. There is a property of square roots where I can just write a small square root for the numerator and a small square root for the denominator. Just break this up. So this is going to be the square root of 33 over the square root of 16 is going to be 4. And of course, this will be positive and negative. Okay, so anytime you can simplify a square root, you need to do so. Right, in this case, you would need to do so what we call rationalizing the denominator. So a lot of moving parts here. That's why I told you in the beginning of this video that a lot of algebra students kind of struggle with completing the square because you're tasked with a lot of different type of things. Okay, so now let's kind of take a look where we're at. All right, so we simplified the square root of 33 over 16. Now we got it down to positive, negative, square root of 33. That's right, the square root of 33 over 16. So we got it down to positive, negative, square root of 33 over 4. So to solve for x, I'm going to simply subtract negative 5 fourths from both sides of the equation. And we have this. Okay, but we're not done because look, we have two fractions with the same denominator. So in this case, we could just simply write this over one fraction bar. So this is negative 5 plus or minus the square root of 33 over 4. Now, what does this mean right here, this plus or minus? Just to be super clear about this, this means that one solution is negative 5 plus the square root of 3 over 4. And the other solution is negative 5 minus the square root of 3 over 4. So two unique real number solutions. Okay, so if some of you are just like flabbergasted, maybe you're just like, oh my goodness, my hair is going out, like, I got to do this on a test, completing a square? No way. Maybe you're thinking to yourself, I'll just skip that question and I'll still get like maybe a 90% on my test. Well, you don't want to do that because completing the square and constructing perfect squares is going to come up from time and time again in more advanced mathematics. And this is certainly not beyond your ability to learn. Okay, so Never kind of shy away from something that seems complex. When you first start learning something, especially mathematics, there's a lot of stuff out there. When you first start learning something, you're like, oh, this is very, very difficult. But if you stick with it, eventually you'll get comfortable with it, and and then obviously comprehend it and master it, right? So just remember, if you truly want to get excellent at mathematics, you have to work at everything skill by skill. Okay, and it's not enough to watch me solve a problem. You have to practice this stuff yourself. Okay, so with that being said, I definitely wish you all the best in your mathematics adventures. Thank you for your time and have a great day.